Hello everyone, hope that you're all doing good. Welcome to today's class, today's practice, and it's the second week that we're going to be looking at the Niyama, the third one, Tapas. So this is a theme that we're going to continue in our classes, and it's been really good to get back to our indoor venues and some of our new ones. It's been so lovely to be able to practice indoors. And we're still doing the outdoor classes, but as the weather's turning a little bit cooler, we've got that nice in the evening of being inside. So tapas is that about to build heat. It's about, it can be seen as being building fire to burn. It can be things about, we've got things in our mind, any negative feelings, being able to burn those things away. It's about self-discipline. So over the next month or so, we're going to be looking at building up a practice where we use some of the similar poses to build up over a time, and that's our self-discipline with our yoga practice. So if you have got a couple of blocks, they're going to be really handy, especially for some of the classes that are going to come up. If you haven't got a couple of blocks, what you can always use is a pile of books, and it's going to be roughly, if you place it this high, and you'll need two of them. So you can always grab something that will do as bricks. It haven't got to be bricks, that's fine. And then we're going to allow ourselves to come down to the floor first of all, and we'll start off focusing, centering and breathing. So bring yourself down, lie down into your comfortable supine position. You bend your legs if you need to, if you need that little bit of support for the back. And just take time just to settle the body. Start to just feel the floor, the body as it comes in contact with the floor. Scanning the body, making sure that we're not tightening, we're not holding tension anywhere. So allowing the shoulders to stay soft and relaxed. Relaxing the face, relaxing the forehead, the jaw. And to just let the tummy soften and just feel the contact of the lower back as it just gently is supported by the earth. And then just take a moment to allow yourself to slowly focus on your breath. So start to slowly breathe in through the nose. And slowly start to feel that breath as you breathe out through the nose. And then keeping your focus on this breath, keeping everything gentle, calm, just begin to allow your breath to naturally lengthen. So we're not straining, we're just starting to follow that inhale right to the end of that breath. And then starting to watch that exhale at the top of the breath, following it all the way down to the bottom of that exhale where it ends. Noticing that very first bit of the inhale as we follow it all the way to that very end of that inhale. Following it from the start of that exhale all the way down to the bottom of the exhale. And just begin to do that a few more moments, noticing the start and the end of both the inhale and your exhale. So we're starting to give the mind just a bit of focus, a bit of a job to do by really just noticing the start and the end of every inhale, of every exhale. You'll find that the breath just naturally starts to lengthen by doing that. You start to maybe just feel this calmness as well. And if it's an option, after you've taken that inhale in, you might hold it just for a moment in, and then begin to notice that start of that exhale as you breathe out, and notice your breath right at that very last bit. You can hold it out for a few moments. Just doing a few more of these, really starting to pay good attention to the breath. So we're starting to already before we've even started to move, we're giving a lot of focus, a lot of attention to the breath. You're noticing if the mind's wandered, if it's wandered, we're just bringing it back. We're not being hard on ourselves. We're not judging ourselves if your mind does wander away. We're just allowing that breath every time just to bring that awareness back when it's moved away. We'll make this your last one from here. And then slowly just release. Let your awareness just move into the arms and moving your hands away, and just start to take a really nice stretch. So stretching into the fingers, stretching the legs away. You can point the toes for a bit and just moving into the arms. And then you might let your feet be flexed, drawing your toes up. And again, just having a little bit of a move from side to side. We're going to let your legs bend. We're going to hug the knees one more one in towards the chest. And just having a little bit of a rock from side to side. Trying to just always be aware of the body, as that's where it keeps our focus, and that in a way is how we build that discipline, that tapas, being very aware of the body and the breath throughout the whole of the practice. Let your hands come onto the knees, and then you're going to just draw some circles with the knees. Just slowly moving in one direction first of all. Maybe letting the eyes close so you can really tune in with this movement. And just feeling just a gentle stimulation for the front of the body. And then circling out in the other direction from here. It's really nice for the back as well, just to give the back a little bit of release. Hopefully it feels good on your lower back. And then just making any movement that feels appropriate with the knees. You might be moving one forward, you might be moving them, open them out to the side, you might be doing different things on each of the knees. Just do anything right now that feels really good to do while the knees are in towards the chest. So we're just starting to feel maybe where we need to release right now. Coming back to the centre. We're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, you're going to press the knees away from you and draw the navel in. And then breathing in, draw the knees in towards the chest. So breathing out, lengthen your arms, press the knees away, draw the navel in. And then inhale, relaxing, drawing the knees back. We'll do two more. Breathing out, hands move away as the navel draws in. And then inhale, slowly coming back. This time, as we press the knees away, you're going to press the knees right back into the hands so that you're creating a little bit of resistance. You can lift the legs, feet slightly as well so that they're more in line with the sky. Carry on breathing, just feeling a little bit of shaking, a little bit of warmth, so you feel what creating warmth from heat in the body feels like to you. And then slowly releasing. Let your feet come to the floor. Let the arms just come to a T shape first, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, and as you breathe out, drop your knees to the right. Let your head slowly turn towards the left. And just stay focused to the breath, relaxing the body where you can. And then coming back with your head and the knees back to the centre. And as you breathe out, we'll drop the knees to the left, letting your head turn to the right. And then slowly allowing ourselves to come back to the centre. If you've got room, you can take the arms to shoulder height, or you can keep them in a T shape. Bringing the feet and the knees together. Inhale. And as you breathe out, drop your knees to the right. Let your head turn towards the left. And then slowly inhaling, coming back to the centre. As you breathe out, we'll go over towards that left side, turning the head towards the right. When you're ready, come back with the head and the knees, and either keeping the feet down or lifting up the legs this time at a right angle. Inhale, and as you breathe out, knees drop to the right, head turns to the left. And then slowly bring your head back, bring the knees back. As you breathe out, we'll go over towards that left side, turning the head towards the right. And then inhaling, coming back to the centre. We'll go one more, so you can still keep the legs at a right angle if you're doing it. This time, if the knees are down to the floor, drawing your knees up a little bit higher towards that top arm. And if it's an option, if you've got room to do so, you're going to lengthen that top leg away from you, maybe catching hold of the big toe, or maybe it stays where it is. Maybe you place a little block or anything on it. And if it's not going to pull on the back, if it does feel okay, you might even allow both legs to lengthen from here. Take a nice, long, slow breath. You might take your head towards that left side. Continue to breathe. You can make the feet nice and active if you've straightened them. And then the heads come back just to watch the back. Make sure it feels okay. Bend your legs first and then take the knees back in towards the chest. Before we do the other side, drawing the knees in towards you, having a rock from side to side. Maybe making any movement that feels okay. I'm going to swap over so I have got room to do the left side from here. So same thing, you might just be holding that position with the feet down, dropping down, or you might be lifting the legs. You might be able to drop your knees over towards that left side. If it's an option, you can always lengthen that top leg. The other option would be to lengthen that bottom leg from here. And you can always take hold of big toes. You can always use a block or anything to place for a little bit of support. And if you've got the feet, if it feels good, give the legs a good stretch from here. So we're doing some leg work today as well, which will be really good. You can let your head turn towards that right side. And then bringing your head back. Remember to support the back by bending the legs first, and then bring your knees back from here and hugging your knees in towards the chest. So hopefully you feel that in the back and the legs, but hopefully you also feel it in the front of the body as you're creating a little bit of energy around all those muscles in the front of the body. You can allow yourself to take your feet to the floor, and we'll do a little bit of work in our bridge pose. So walk your feet in as close as is comfortable for you. Arms down by the sides of the body. We'll slowly take an inhale, allow your spine to lift up. And as you breathe out, tilt the pelvis forward, slowly lower all the way back down. So you're going to do, first of all, just a few of these lifts. And maybe on each inhale, you start to maybe lift up a little bit higher. Or maybe you just keep it nice and low today, if that's where it feels like the back needs to be. Today, absolutely fine. And just stay focused with it so that you feel that you've got this really good focus today in being mindful with the body. And it's a bit of a focus, dedication to our body in these poses as we come to our practice. So we're not letting an ego move in. We're not going to our full extreme. We're trying to see if we just ease into it. And then you can lift up and take a few breaths. Just keeping this lovely lift of the hips as your spine lifts away from here. Just try and press a little bit more into the big toes and see whether that feels that you lift a little bit higher as you press into the big toes and your thighs are nice and parallel. And then nice and slowly lowering all the way back down. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. Just taking a few maybe rocks from side to side. And we're going to move into that one more time. And we're going to do a little bit of a variation with the leg. So we're going to do lots of really nice leg work today as well in today's practice. So over the next month, it's going to be a combination of abdominal work and leg work to build up our practice of our tapas practice. So feet are coming down to the floor. So we'll do a bridge again. Now, if it is okay for the back, you can bring your knees and the feet together for for this option. If it doesn't work, then just keep your feet separated like you did in that hip distance position. So your arms are down by the sides of the body. You're going to slowly start to lift up. You don't want to lift up too high onto the shoulders. You're going to keep your left leg down. You're going to allow your right leg to lift from here. And you're going to take a few moments just to press out into that heel. Feel the support of the other leg. The pose naturally becomes more challenging as we lift that leg away. And then slowly bend that leg, take the foot to the floor, and we'll swap over legs. Try and keep your knees in line. So this is going to keep your hips nice and lifted from here. So pressing out into that leg, strengthening, you'll feel it around the back, and then slowly lower back down. We'll do one more on each side. So that right one lifts, pressing into the foot, pressing that leg away. Can you keep the breath nice and even? And then slowly coming back. Swapping legs, this time left leg lengthens away. You can keep the knees in line. Keep pressing down with that bottom foot. And then slowly coming back down. Tilt the pelvis forward, allowing ourselves to release back down. Hugging the knees back in towards the chest. And rocking gently just to release the muscles around your back. You're going to take your hands behind the back of the legs and allowing the legs to lift up, taking a really nice stretch with the legs. You might feel an option to point the toes, keep your legs a little way apart and then drawing your toes down towards you. Keep your chin tucked in slightly, so pointing the toes and then drawing the toes down towards you. Do one more. Pointing the toes and then drawing the toes down towards you. You can bend your legs, take hold of either around your thighs, take your knees out to the side or reaching up anywhere higher for a happy baby pose. And you might stay still. I always quite like a little bit of a rock from side to side. You might find that you really take a little bit of a rock today, right over to one side if you got room, and then over to the other side. So you get a real good release around the hips from here. And you're also getting a massage on your back. I always find that when you do happy baby pose, you're getting a massage on the spine. So hopefully it feels good. And then slowly let your legs bend, hugging the knees in towards the chest. You're going to take the legs down to the floor. We'll just do one more position on the floor. So legs are going to lengthen from here. And we're going to do the position where we're going to raise the legs up. So leg work, a little bit of core work as well. Those of you with back issues, feel free to take your hands. You can always take them underneath the bottom, palms down. So you've got a little bit of support. Or you can always take an option of bending the legs, absolutely fine. So be careful of the back. If you know that the back's strong, we can release the hands. They can either be down by the sides of the body or an even stronger option, listen to the back though, would be to take your hands behind you, back of the hands on the floor, and you stretch them away. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to allow ourselves to lift the legs all the way up. And if it's too intense, you can do one leg at a time. If it's too much, then we're going to bend the legs as well. So you're going to allow yourself, rather than drawing your toes towards you, just relaxing the feet now. So you're going to inhale, and as you breathe out, we're going to lower the legs to 60 degrees, draw the navel in. Inhale, and as you breathe out, we're going to lower the legs to 30 degrees and draw the navel in. Inhale, and as you breathe out, lowering the legs so they just touch the floor first, and then lifting up the legs just a little bit, drawing the navel in from here, then letting the legs relax for a moment. Feel that wonderful feeling, what it feels like to relax the body. And then we'll do it the same, but lifting up this time. So legs are down. You're going to slowly allow yourself to lift the legs just a little way from the floor, 30 degrees. And inhale as you exhale, 60 degrees, draw the navel in. Inhale, and as you breathe out, 90 degrees. And then take your hands behind the back of the legs and maybe even easing them closer towards you, but try and keep as well your back on the floor, so you're not actually rolling up, you've still got the back on the floor. If it does feel an option, we can either just stay here, giving a nice stretch of the legs, or if it feels good, draw the navel in, and we allow our arms to lift from here. Just having the palms up to keep them nice and soft. Take a few nice breaths, try not to strain into the head. Inhale, and as you breathe out, slowly lower the head, knees back towards the chest. Rock last time from side to side. And then roll over, just slowly start to bring yourself up and come all the way to a nice, easy seated position. Take a few moments just to breathe from here. Hands are just resting down onto the back of the knees, palms lifted up. And then interlocking the fingers, you're going to press your palms away from you. You're going to lift up from here. So lifting up with your palms, pressing into the fingers, drawing into the navel. You're going to take a twist. So take an inhale as you breathe out. We're finding a small twist towards the right side. Draw the navel in. And then inhaling, coming back to the centre. As we breathe out, we'll find a twist over towards that left side. And then inhaling, coming back to the centre. Releasing the hands all the way down. Releasing the fingers. Release the legs. Give them a little shake. And then if it feels good, you're going to just allow yourself to bend the legs again. You might be focusing on just drawing in the navel, or lifting your knees a little bit higher, drawing the navel, or if it works, letting yourself just take a little bit of a hover from here. You might even allow yourself to hug your knees in so the feet are lifted, and just allowing just this little bit of a rounding over from here. Keeping the breath nice and long and slow. And then slowly come all the way back down, drop the knees to one side, and then coming into an all fours position. Nice spread hands, knees underneath the hips, and do pad your knees if you need that little bit of extra padding. Just take a couple of cat stretches. So inhale, lift your tailbone, lift the front of the body, lifting your head. And as you breathe out, rounding over, gazing back through the legs. Inhale, coming through, tailbone lifts front of the body and the head lifts. And then exhale, rounding over, gazing back through the legs. We'll do one more. Use your inhale to lift. And then exhale, rounding over. Back to the all fours. Make sure hands stay spread. Tuck your knees under and we'll lift up into your downward dog position. So we've already done a little bit of work on the legs, so they might feel, oh, it feels really nice just to release the heels back, or you might like to just take a few moments to walk out through the legs. If you feel a bit tight in the hips, you can always just find a little bit of a twisting movement from side to side, coming up onto the toes, dropping heels out, and then resting back into your downward dog. Nice heavy head from here. And then slowly allowing ourselves to come back to the knees, release the feet. Take your hands forward at the shoulders and we'll bend the arms, come all the way down to the floor. We're going to either prepare your Sphinx or your Cobra pose. So you're going to slowly start to lift. Make it a baby Cobra if you're lifting first. So elbows point back, belly presses onto the earth. And then you can take a few moments to come up into your full Cobra if that's where you're working today. Let your focus stay in the practice. Think about the breath, sending maybe your eyes or the gaze up, using your eyes to look up even higher. And then lowering back, hands underneath the shoulders, pressing back to the all fours. Release the feet and take a few breaths, sinking back into our child's pose. So even though we can stay dedicated to our yoga practice, we don't want to be too hard on ourselves. It's not, tapas is not about being really hard and extreme with ourselves and forcing ourselves and pushing ourselves. That's not the idea. It's about just this Keeping going, this steadiness that we're finding, this dedication that we're having with our practice. It can also be seen as like poses that are often a bit challenging. They do take time to build up. So it might be, you know, allowing that to happen, allowing yourself time over weeks or months to just building up practice. You can use it in different ways. When you're ready, slowly allowing yourself to come back to the all fours. We'll tuck the toes under again, lifting up for a few breaths into downward dog. When you're ready, come back to the knees and pad your knees if you're going to feel it on the knees. You're going to stretch your right leg away from you. Take a moment to really stretch it out, and if it's an option, letting your left arm stretch away. It'd be a bit challenging to actually let your left leg lift away at this point. Take a nice few breaths and just see if you can just feel that heat of the posture, the challenge of it. As long as there's no discomfort, notice what happens to the minds. Sometimes when we kind of stay around our edge, things start to happen. Rather than moving completely out of postures that maybe we don't like, just staying in them and seeing what happens. And then slowly release the hand, take that knee down, release the wrist if you need to, and then stretching your left leg out, and your right arm is going to stretch away. And you can draw in with the navel, you can really extend out with that right arm, you can extend out with that left leg, and just feeling that heat, that fire that you build up in your practice. And feeling that this gives us more energy to use in good positive ways. Stay there a couple more moments. And then hands come down, knees come underneath the hips. You're going to tuck the toes under, lifting up into downward dog, bending the legs and slowly come all the way to standing, hands on the hips, pressing, lifting up, coming all the way up from here. You're going to fold into Uttanasana. So take your feet a few inches apart or hip distance, hands on the hip creases, and you're going to slowly start to come forward from here. You can allow yourself to release your hands down and allowing your head to release from here. And take a few nice, easy breaths. Maybe soften your knees just slightly so that you can get a lovely release in the back of the legs. Just feeling and listening to the body so that we work in a good, safe way. Soften the knees, sweeping the arms up, coming all the way up. You might like to just stretch your palms up, press your palms up, stretch your fingertips up just for a few breaths, lifting the chest, maybe softening the knees, maybe coming into a little bit of a lovely back arch from here. And then slowly coming back to the centre. So today we're going to do a lot of leg work. We did a lot of chair pose last time. We're going to focus on something different. So come to the centre of the mat and you're going to open out your feet into warrior position. So those of you that can, you can take it into a wide up position with the legs. Right foot turns out, left foot forward. You're going to raise the arms. Inhale as you breathe out, bending into your leg. So right leg for your warrior, press back into the back foot, draw into the navel. And you're going to feel this sense of, even though we can feel strong in the posture, and we can feel grounded, we can feel the navel drawing in, we can feel this sense of softness. So there's always a duality of forces, and we're going to feel it through that yoga practice, strength, but also kindness and softness. Take a few breaths. And then allowing ourselves to lengthen that leg, hands on the hips. We're going to come into a wider version of triangle. So turning that left foot in slightly, and if it's too wide, you can take it in closer, that's fine. Make sure you're not locking out that front leg. You're going to stretch as far as you can towards that right side. When you can't come anymore, bottom hand comes down and your top arm lifts up from here. You're going to draw into the navel. You can gaze up. So you can either take your hand to the back. The back of the hand is a nice option. Or you can always take hold of your big toe as well. A little bit of a variation from here. And then gazing down, soften the leg, taking the arms, lifting all the way up, hands on the hips, feet to the front. Opening out to warrior to the other side. So left foot turns out, right foot can turn in slightly. You're going to raise the arms, inhale, and as you breathe out, it's going to be warrior first. So bending into that front leg. So you're going to press back into that back foot from here. And just see if you can just tune into those two forces at work. Around the navel, that strength. The strength in the legs that's supporting the rest of the body. Reaching out with the energy through the fingertips, but softening your shoulders. And then lengthening into that front leg, hands on the hips. You can turn that foot in slightly. You can reduce the distance if you need to. Raise the arms again. Inhale, as you breathe out, you're going to stretch towards that left side. Don't lock out that left leg. Bottom hand comes down lightly. Top arm lifts up. You can either take back of the hand. You can always take hold of the big toe if that was an option to get a really nice stretch into the legs. Just a couple of nice, long, slow breaths. Turning the gaze down, softening that leg to come up all the way to the front. Feet to the front, hands to the hips, just taking your feet in ever so slightly for a wide legged forward fold. So you're going to start to hinge forward. Hands come down to the floor. You're going to take a nice inhale, so you're lifting up halfway, either fingertips or hands. And breathing out, softening and folding. You're going to inhale again, lifting up halfway. And then softening and folding. Let's do one more. Inhale to lift up. And then exhale, softening and folding. At your head, just release for a moment. Hands on the hips. We're going to slowly lift head, chest, coming all the way to standing and heel toe or step your feet together. So we're going to take hold of our bricks from here or our pile of books, whatever we're using from here. And we're going to allow ourselves to take the bricks to the floor, roughly shoulder width apart from here. And then we're going to allow ourselves to take your hands onto the bricks. You're going to step back from here into a warrior position first, then lifting up your arms. Take a nice few breaths. So lifting up the chest, reaching up with the fingertips, drawing into the navel. And then allowing ourselves to place your hands back to the bricks from here. So you're going to slowly come forward. You're going to lift up onto the toes of the back foot. And you can explore lifting that leg away. I'm just going to move back slightly so I've got room to show you what we're doing. Love it. So you might be working it here today, stretching that leg back. Or if it feels good, you're going to take your left arm and raise your left arm away from you. Take a few nice breaths. And then you're going to inhale, and as you breathe out, bend that left elbow, bend that right knee, and drawing it towards each other. And then inhale, lengthening out. So a little bit like that tabletop balance that we did. You're going to breathe out, you're going to come back from here again. And as you inhale, lengthening back out. We'll do one more, breathing out. And then inhale, lengthening, giving it a nice stretch from here. Try not to let your hip lift too much. And then slowly take the hands down to the floor. Step back with the back foot. Hands on the hips, and we'll lift up. You might have felt a little bit of warmth from that. Palms together, inhale, and as you breathe out, hands can move back towards the chest. So we'll swap over. So stop stepping your right foot forward, left foot back. You might just take the hands on the bricks, make sure they're in the right position. And then lifting up into our warrior pose. Take a few nice breaths from here, reaching up into the fingers. And feel the focus, the dedication that you're finding with your breath and your practice and the body today. And then slowly releasing the hands down. So you're going to start to lift the toes of that back foot away. It might just be a little bit, or you might be able to start to explore lifting it away. You might take those bricks slightly forward if that was a better option. So only hip distance apart. And then your right arm, I'm just going to move back slightly so you can see. And your right arm is going to lift away from you. You're going to take an inhale, and as you breathe out, drawing your elbow and the knee towards each other. And then inhale, lengthening away. So breathing out, elbow and the knee draw towards each other. And then inhale to length away. Do one more. So exhale, drawing the knee together and elbow. And then inhale, lengthening away. And have a really nice stretch out from here. Feeling maybe that warmth, that heat of that balance challenge. And then hands come back down. Leg comes back down, into warrior first. We'll do the same as we did on the other side. Lifting out and take a few nice easy breaths now. Feel that distribution of energy. Feel that softening around the chest. You can look up if it feels comfortable. Palms together, inhale, and as you breathe out, slowly releasing your hands. In that step forward, we can move the blocks out to the side. So these might be handy for if you're using them to get them ready for when we do other practices as well next time. So hands on your hip creases, inhale, and as you exhale, slowly folding forward, catching hold of opposite elbows and just slowly taking a sway from side to side from here. You're going to allow the legs to bend. You're going to take your hands to the floor. You're going to sit back onto the bottoms and extending your legs out from here. We're going to allow yourself to bend your right leg from here and sitting up nice and tall. We're going to work our half Lord of the Fish pose. So you've got your options of taking that foot across and sweeping. The other option would be to sweep back with that leg, and you can sit on a block if that's going to make it easier for you to help yourself to sit up and more comfortable. Nice and lifted, we'll raise your left arm. And then as we breathe out, we're going to take that arm across. The right hand's going to come over. We're going to either take the hands here or wrap in the arm. And we're going to take a few nice focused breaths into our twist. So you're going to use your inhale to draw up nice and tall. And use your exhale to think about this really lovely release in your twist. So it's the inhale to draw up nice and tall. And the exhale to feel that really nice release into that twist. So a lot of work today around that navel area. So feeling that warmth, that strength, that height. And then slowly releasing. Be careful how you release that leg, lengthen out. Give the legs a release. And then we'll do the other side. So bending your left leg and either keeping it here or taking the foot across. And then if you did it on the other side, wrapping that foot around. Making sure that we're not leaning. What you want to do is you want to be sitting up nice and tall. So sometimes a block helps you do that. Sometimes lengthening that leg will help it as well. So it's going to be your right arm's going to raise and lift and take an inhale to reach up even taller. And as you breathe out, we'll take that arm across, back, hand behind or wrapping that leg. And then sitting up nice and tall still, just start to breathe into that twist. And just try to stay really focused to feeling what's happening to the spine in that twist. Feel that with every exhale, maybe you feel this sense of release or even turning slightly more in that twist. Just a few more breaths. And then nice and slowly allowing ourselves to come back to the centre. You're going to start to come back from here. Be careful how you release out from here. Giving the legs a really nice release. And then just come into a really nice, easy seated position from here. So all poses with the legs and the hips are great for helping us towards the end of the practice to sit with ease, sit more comfortably. That's traditionally, you know, what the yoga practice was for, to help us to sit for longer periods of time when we've got our mindfulness or our meditation. So we're going to take a hand gesture from here, one that I've been working with this way, and it's an eagle mudra, Garuda mudra. And what it's going to be is, I won't mirror you, but you're going to take your hands across each other, wrists across. You can take your right one across your left, and you're going to link your thumbs. So you hook your thumbs from here. So your palms are facing towards you. And then you allow yourself to bring your hands into the chest. So you don't want to strain the fingers. Fingers are just nice and soft and relaxed. And you're just going to take a few nice, easy breaths from here. And this is great. The benefits of doing this hand gesture, as all hand gestures bring different benefits and energy circuits in the body. So it helps us if we're feeling a little bit tired, a bit fatigued. This helps to bring more energy into the body with the breath. If we've been a little bit fearful or just a little bit stressed lately, then this will help to maybe just feel your breath nice and calm. And it's a comforting feeling as we have the hands across your chest. Just taking a few nice, easy breaths from here. Roughly, we're going to do about 10 breaths, so just a few more. And mate, this is your last one. And then slowly allowing ourselves to release from here. Pause for a moment, maybe wriggle the fingers if you need a little bit of release on your fingers and your thumbs. And then just take a moment to stretch the legs out, give the legs a release. And then just slowly, just let yourself roll down to the floor. Hug your knees in towards the chest, taking a very gentle rock from side to side. And then for the next few minutes, encouraging the body to release. So either legs are going to stay bent if you're feeling it around the back, if you need that support, or you can have your knees in towards each other, allowing your legs to lengthen out. Shoulders nice and relaxed, chin tucked in ever so slightly. And then just take a moment to fully just allow the back and the body to release from here. So noticing what it feels like to allow ourselves to let go physically in the body. I've been saying lately in the class, it's easier to encourage the body to relax once you've worked it first of all. And you know the difference is what it feels like to be strong in the body, but what it also feels like to be nice and relaxed and letting go. Let the breath become soft and relaxed, and with maybe every exhale, just see if you can just encourage the body to soften and let go even more. So our yoga practice can help to build up strength, physical strength, mental strength. It gives us something that we can focus on. It's discipline as well, and we're focusing on the breath and focusing on the posture that we're in. While you're just relaxing for the next minute, I'm just going to read you something that comes from my journey to the heart book. And it's really nice that I think goes with that theme of tapas. And it's your soul can be at peace. And it says peace is all around you. If you forget to be peaceful, try some things. Forgive, trust, love yourself, be still, be kind, be gentle. Do these things until peace returns. Breathe deeply. With each breath, release your fear. If you know what's causing your fear, write it down. Speak it out. If your fears are unknown, let them go too. Don't tangle yourself up trying to figure out or understand. Trust your body, your soul, your heart is healing and releasing. Be gentle with yourself. A place inside you is healing its fears. telling you something, feeling something. Don't punish or abuse it for feeling afraid. That won't make your fears go away. That will make the beautiful, delicate part of you go away. Be gentle, be tender. Release, rest until your fears subside. Rest until peace returns. It's a really nice thought that if you come across it in your day or your week, a time where you're feeling stressed, you're feeling fearful, just see if you can just work with the breath and kindness until peace and gentleness just starts to move into the body. And with that, just slowly let your fingers soften, let them just release, let them wriggle, let your toes release, let them wriggle. Move the arms, move the legs, and just take a very gentle stretch with the arms behind us, reaching into the fingers. Inhale, and as you breathe out, let the arms come down by the sides of the body. Bending the legs, hug the knees in towards the chest. And in your own time, just slowly roll over onto the right sides of the body. And bring in this sense of inner strength, courage, peace, and kindness, rolling over and come up to a seated position. Once you're there, let your palms come together, let your hands touch, thumbs in towards the sternum, shoulders nice and relaxed. And just feel that warmth, that kindness that you feel through in your body, through working through what it feels like to let go. Just slowly let your head bow down, let your eyes slowly blink open. And as you inhale, allow your head and your heart to lift. Namaste. Thank you for practicing, and I look forward to hearing from you or seeing you in class soon.